As I mentioned in a previous video, PowerPoint allows you to make adjustments to your theme using some of the pre-built themes as well as some of the customization options that they have. If you want, you can select a color scheme that was designed with colors that complement each other. You can make changes to the font as well as to the backgrounds of the slides. In addition to playing around with the theme options, you may want to go ahead and explore some of the graphic options. When you click on an image, depending on the way the image is constructed, you're going to get a variety of different features or functions that you can use to edit the image. For example, with pictures, you are going to have a few options that you will not have with some of the graphics. If you make adjustments to any of the smart art, then they have their own set of tools. Let's take a look at some of the options that you have with your portable network graphic or your PNG file. Most portable network graphics or PNG files are scalable. That means that you can make them larger or you can make them smaller, and they retain that beautiful, solid, sharp, crisp quality to them. Many times they're transparent. That means that you can place images or text in back of them, and that image or text will show through. When you use the filters, you'll notice that it retains the transparent background. You can use the correction options to sharpen or soften an image. You can recolor an image. Notice that the color options are based on the color scheme of the template. If you had a background that was solid, you can remove the background. You can add additional effects and pictures in the Picture Styles menu. You can put a frame, or you can add a drop shadow or a reflection. And if you find that you don't like it, or you want to or need to revert it back to the original look, you simply press Reset. There are border options that let you frame the picture. There's also a transparency tool that can let you make adjustments to the level of light or dark of the individual image. And in some cases, if you want to, you could actually make it invisible. Reordering the images may come up from time to time if you have images that need to be layered and you're having a difficult time trying to get one, say, that is behind the others, something that you can see but your cursor just won't let you connect to. You can use the reorder tool to move them around. So say, for instance, I have this image here in the back, and it's tiny, and I put it behind this larger image. I make it bigger. I can still see the other image behind it though. Now notice that when I put my cursor on there, I can't reach it. The reorder option that lets you reorder your objects lets you pull this up to the front. And now I can get a hold of it. Another cool tool is the background removal. Sometimes you may wish to get rid of part of a background so that you can use the object and have it go over or layer it on top of other objects. Now I'm going to go in here and I have this drum. I'm going to crop it so that it's only the drum in the front, and then I'm going to go in and remove the background. So I'll click on the image, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select crop. When you crop an image, you can do it diagonally through the corner, or you can use any of the side toggles. When you're done, just click off of it. Let's see, move this in a better spot. Now, if I want to remove the background, here, I can make sure that it's selected, and I'll select Remove Background. By default, PowerPoint will go and it will look and it will select an area that it believes to be the background. In this case, it was the solid green grass that it chose, and it made a good decision. If you like it, just click over to the side, and there you have your transparent image. Notice now that when I move it over to the side, that you don't see any background whatsoever around the surrounding area. Double click on it, and I think I will crop it a little bit more. And there you go. It doesn't look unlike this here. I'll bring over here. And that you have a transparent background with a solid object. Now let's try it here. Notice that we have two tones in the background. Let's see what happens. Now this one worked a little bit differently because, again, there were two tones, and it wasn't completely sure what it needed to get rid of. Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my desired area just ever so slightly. Let's see, I'd like to get that trombone in there if I can. Notice that as I hover over the picture, there is a plus and minus sign. Let's see if I can get this better. When I hover over the picture in this mode, there is a plus and minus sign that shows up. The minus sign is an area that I would like to remove. When I clicked it, notice that it went away. Once an area has been removed, if you want to retrieve it, you simply click the plus sign. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a couple of other spots. It's looking for pixels that match that one solid color. Okay, I would like for this to come back. Let's see if I magnify it just a little bit more, make it easier to see. I could get rid of this here and that blue thing. I'm going to click onto the side. Now, it's not perfect because I did not get all of the trombone, but you get the idea, don't you? All you need to do is select the areas that you wish to keep. And then let PowerPoint determine what area is the background. If you disagree, it's simply a matter of adding it back in and taking out the areas that you do want. Remember, it is looking for solid pixels that are close to or exactly the same color as the area that you're touching. And worst case scenario, if you double click and you're on it, you can reset it if you don't like it. Can also when I double click on it, I can also reset the crop area. Now, there is one thing that you do need to know. If you ever decide to make a change permanent, if you select the compress option, it will reduce the picture to a smaller size. And in most cases, it's a done deal. So I'll go ahead and compress it and save it. Now, when I click on this and I select crop, notice you don't see the original image. You only see what I cropped. Essentially, I got rid of all of the areas surrounding. The benefit to that is it will reduce your overall file size. So for example, if you had lots of large images and you only needed portions of those images, normally a large image will take up a lot of space. You compress it, it reduces the overall file size, it gets rid of any areas that you don't need, and it gets rid of them for good. So that's something that you need to use with caution. In another lesson, I showed you how to animate your smart art. You can also make adjustments to these individual elements if you want. Whenever you click on a given image, you'll notice that you have a few choices that are based on the theme for the colors and styles of the shapes. That way, if you make an adjustment, all of the colors in the adjustments complement each other. You can also go in and individually select colors for each of the different shapes. You can use one of their preset schemes, or if you want to, you can go in individually and select each one of these areas one by one, and then add the fill of your choice. And if you don't like it, you have the option to reset it. If for whatever reason you decide not to have the images come in as a smart art graphic, you can change all of the shapes within it to regular smart art shapes instead of the graphic. Now, I'll let you in on a fun little secret. If you want to truly customize some of these images, you can use the fill options that come with them. And you also have additional fill effects. You can use the patterns, pictures, textures, or gradients, or if you want, you can choose your own picture to pull in as well. Now there's a button you're not going to see just anywhere. You can do this with any of the smart shapes. Anytime you see the fill option, that's something that you can consider when you really want to customize it. So before you accept any picture as is, Play around with some of the adjustment options and see what you can come up with. See what color schemes that you like, what you don't like, and how you can improve on what you have. Now, I do want to point one more little thing out to you. If you are on a Windows-based computer, many of your images, if they are designated as Windows Meta files or WMF files, many of them are grouped. That means they are essentially shapes that were created in a vector program and grouped. Many times you can ungroup or recolor individual pieces of those images if you want. Now, I can't show you that here, but in a future course, I plan on showing you how to turn PowerPoint into what I like to call the poor man's photo editor. In that course, you'll learn some of the neat tips and tricks that can let you create professionally edited images on the fly. Now, let's go ahead and save this, and we'll go ahead and we will also save it as pictures. I'll show you what happens when you do that. Each slide is now its own picture. And you're free to use those pictures in any other presentation or project that you're working on. This is one of the most efficient ways to label, brand, put a background on a group of pictures, export them as pictures, and it looks like you've gone into a more expensive, time-consuming program to put them together. And nobody has to know.